What is going on, my super sandwiches? Rhymestyle here, and today I'm joined by two awesome fellas on YouTube. We have Unreal ENT Gaming and Jadentastic, and today, gentlemen, we're reflecting on the wonderful year that is 2015. 2015 was a really great year, and before we start, I want to pose a question to the viewers. What was your favorite part in the Dragon Ball community of all year? Now, to quickly summarize everything that happened, this year was great. We got Dragon Ball Xenoverse, which was a first good Dragon Ball game in a very long time. Not to say other ones were bad, but this is like something in the right direction in terms of custom created characters, a new story. It was just a lot of fun. Of course, we had Resurrection F, which came out, which was awesome. They brought back one of the most iconic anime villains of all time.
Epic.
And of course, Dragon Ball Super this past summer came back. Like, the series actually came back. I remember, it's funny, last December, I said 2015 is going to be the year of anime, and 2015 is going to be the year of Dragon Ball, and look what happened.
Someone out there must have gathered all the Dragon Balls and made that wish because it happened.
Right? Right? So, I brought Danny and Alex here because we want to basically discuss our favorite moments. It's like, you know when you watch Dora the Explorer, and at the end it's like, what was your favorite part of the episode? This is your chance to speak
Minus
out.
the
So how
Dora
about we start
part,
with
guys.
minus the Dora part, because we don't watch Dora. That'd be kind of weird. How about we
Yeah,
start
we
with Alex?
totally don't watch Dora the Explorer.
Well, technically, Danny, you might watch it because you actually have a daughter. Does she actually watch that, or did she watch Dragon Ball?
You better say Dragon
Well,
Ball.
she actually really liked One Punch Man.
Does she really?
Yeah.
That's funny. Let's start with Alex. So, Alex, what was your favorite moment in the Dragon Ball community in the past year?
Well, personally, for me, it was when Yamcha was with Beerus, of course. Who would have thought that would have? No, I mean that was a pretty crazy moment when he slapped him. I thought Beerus was gonna like flick him into the moon. But like, what's really exciting here is the fact that we actually had new content for once, and for me personally, I remember talking about it years ago. I've always wished that we did have a new series, because GT was the last of, of the Dragon Ball franchise, and then when they announced that we were going to get a new series in July, that was like such an eye-opener, because that right there signified that the community had such power and such a voice that, they recognized what the fans wanted, and we got what we essentially wanted, which was Dragon Ball Super. Although they are recapping the movies for a specific reason, because they want to appeal to the casual fans. We've gotten a new series, we've gotten a new movie, a new game. We've gotten a bootcamp battle. We've gotten so many awesome things this year, and this was definitely the year of Dragon Ball, because reflecting back on all the influences Dragon Ball had, it's even come across different platforms to UFC. For example, when Ronda Rousey, one of the most popular MMA fighters today, showed up at WrestleMania in front of millions with The Rock with a Vegeta shirt. Like, how awesome is that? She had a Vegeta shirt over 9,000 live on pay-per-view with The Rock, and she is a huge DBZ fan, mind you. So Dragon Ball has had such an influence. It reached out to celebrities, it reached out to all across nations and platforms. And for me, my personal favorite, that's hard to say because we've gotten an awesome movie in the show. So for me personally, I would have to say a movie's a movie, but a show is a show. So I would have to go with the show, just because, for nostalgia purposes, like that took me back to when I was a kid, when I used to just sit there and watch Dragon Ball all day on Toonami at 4 o'clock. So one of the highlights for me was actually having to have a show, although, it is subbed and there is no dub as of right now. For me, it was the show, then the movie, and then the game, of course. But, yeah, so I would have to say that was some of the highlights for me. I mean, there's so much more, but we're going to get into that as we progress on forward.
I can't wait for that show to get dubbed.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly,
I
mean,
yeah.
I don't mind sub. I know some people prefer sub over dub and dub over sub. Whatever you like is your preference. To me, I mean, I grew up under dub. I watch most of my anime sub, but, every now and then I do like watching dub. So, like, Yu Yu Hakusho was great in dub. Full Metal Alchemist was great in dub. Dragon Ball was great in dub. But I can't wait for that show to get dubbed for two reasons. One, like I said, I love the English voice actors better. And two, once it gets actually, finished, because what we see on Toei, on Fuji TV every single week is not really done. It's just kind of like the rushed version. We'll get the actual experience whenever it gets done in 2016. So let's cross our fingers that next year we get that actually in the way we're supposed to watch it. So I'm excited for that. But Danny, what was your favorite part?
So mine might be a little surprising. So I think the most exciting news that I got, I guess, was the announcement of Dragon Ball Super. I think of the whole year, out of everything that came out, that announcement was crazy. I mean,
it was unexpected.
It was so unexpected. I woke up and I was scrolling through Twitter early in the morning, and I scrolled by it, and I was like, this has to be a joke. Like
Yeah,
that it was absolutely insane. Like it
Nobody
was so
thought.
unreal.
We lived that joke so many times the last 3 years. Like it was like a ritual
Yeah.
every 3 months. It's like, oh, Dragon Ball, yeah, whatever.
Like it was so unreal. So I think that was the most exciting moment. But like kind of like what you just said though, I really feel like I still haven't, like I've seen the episodes of Super, but I feel like I haven't seen it yet. Because I prefer the dubbed version, and so watching it in English is going to be a completely different experience. So I feel like I haven't really gotten to experience Super, for as cool as it can be for me. So I think my favorite part of, Dragon Ball as a whole this year would actually be Dragon Ball Xenoverse, which I know the game got a ton of flack, and there are a lot of people out there who don't really like it and don't really like some of the
I wouldn't
elements
say there's a
about it.
lot. There's a handful.
There's
a handful.
There's enough people out there to complain, but I mean, it was a new Dragon Ball Z game. They tried new things that they've never done in a Dragon Ball Z game before.
And I think it worked.
It did work.
And it
absolutely.
was really fun. I mean, it's really fun to sit around and like play Dragon Ball Z with friends again. I mean, obviously Dino and I we went to college together, and we would sit around and play Dragon Ball Z games for literally hours,
And then not talk to each other.
and then get into actual fights and not talk to each other, because I'm still better than you. But anyway, I mean, it's just like being able to play with friends again, and then also like having the game on PC. Like I own it on PS4 and PC, and like watching the community come up with the amazing mods and stuff that come out for it that you can play with and just make the game so much better. I feel like as much time and effort, I guess, that I put into that game itself would, I mean, without a doubt, make that my number one Dragon Ball Z thing of 2015.
What I want to address before I tell you my favorite part is, as far as people complaining, it's like Xenoverse is the best-selling Dragon Ball game in a very long time. It sold over 3 million copies. That's insane for an anime game. Last time a Dragon Ball game sold that well was Tenkaichi 3 in 2000. What was it? 7 when it came out. And it sold 3 million copies. And then Budokai 3 sold like 2 million copies. So for a Dragon Ball game, which usually does about 100,000, 300,000, 400,000 copies, for a game to sell 3 million is really well. And on top of that, yeah, there were people who complained here and there, but for the most part, the game is still being played to this day. Like, you can hop online, you can see a lot of people in the lobby, you can see, a bunch of people support the game in the community, and I consider that game successful. It was very successful.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's successful, and I guess I wasn't trying to say like everyone hated on it, and I'm a hipster for liking it, but it was kind of like how it was almost like immediately as soon as the game came out, people were like, okay, well, what are we gonna do for Xenoverse 2? Or like, this could have been better. This could have been, and I feel like
that's just the community, honestly. I mean,
yeah, like it needed. I don't know. I want the game to get the appreciation it deserves because I mean, it's actually like it's a really cool, fun game. And like I'm sure whatever the next game is going to be really great, but just for me, I really appreciated the game for what it was. I was one of the few I feel like that wasn't so quick to be like, oh my gosh, Xenoverse 2 needs to have this and this and this and this. I'm still like playing Xenoverse 1. Like,
I probably was one of the people who made the most Xenoverse feedback videos for the second game, but in terms of what Xenoverse was to me, it's still my favorite Dragon Ball game.
It was different. That's what made the game stand out. I mean, every traditional DBZ game, we had to go through the Raditz saga and then fight the Saiyans and then Frieza, Cell, Majin Buu. It was like the same thing, but in this, it was done, I guess you could say in the same order, but like done differently with like Mira and Toa having influences that affected the story arcs, and you had Demigra, and then like it was just so different. And I think that's what stood out the most was it was the same story done differently, and the fact that they took the Dragon Ball Online character creation model and they put it in the game itself. And I think that's what also stood out the most, because if you didn't want to play as Goku, Gohan, Vegeta, you can play as your own character, and over progression you get to customize your character the way you wanted to. And I think a lot of people enjoyed that, because how many of us went back and we played the game again just to make another character and like boost them up and stuff? It was amazing.
I have two level 99 characters.
I will say that if the next game has the same type of RNG, I will literally kill myself.
Yeah, that's
I will say
the drop
that's
rate.
like my one true complaint is the way that the RNG works.
Mine is just the hit detection, because let's be real here, the hit detection was the weakest part about the game. If it was better, the game would be a lot more successful than it was. Which, I mean, it wasn't very successful, but like it'd be a lot more successful if it actually worked properly online. But again,
Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 EVO 2016.
It was very ambitious, and what they wanted to do, they accomplished. So I can't wait for the next game. But since we're talking about Xenoverse, my favorite moment also was Xenoverse. Like I said, it's what I've always wanted in a Dragon Ball game for the longest. Proper character creation, that freedom of being yourself, I guess, playing as a character in that world. And it felt really smooth and right. Like, going back to the older Dragon Ball games, not to hate on them, there's a lot that's wrong with them. And playing Xenoverse and going back between like Raging Blast and Xenoverse and Burstum and Xenoverse and Tenkaichi and Xenoverse, it just, to me, what they did with that game was like exactly what I want as a fan.
And don't forget, like, for a multiplayer game, they actually did it pretty decent. It wasn't that bad.
It's a lot of fun. I still play. Thing is what people don't get is I don't play Xenoverse just because I'm a YouTuber that's supposed to do it. I actually play it because it's fun. When I'm actually editing video, I'll hop on lobbies and play the game because I actually enjoy it. It's just a lot of fun. I know a lot of people got burned out with it.
With the exception of people spamming blue hurricanes and stuff, but that's a different story.
I mean, every game is going to have its flaws. The thing I noticed about not just our community, but any community, there's always something you're not going to be happy about. I mean, there's always going to be that one thing that people complain about that even people really dig to find to complain about, and it's just something you have to deal with. But at the end of the day, if you enjoy what you enjoy, then you enjoy it. Rhymestyle 2015. But like I said, Xenoverse to me was my most favorite part, followed by Resurrection F. Frieza's my all-time favorite villain. I said this 1,000 times on my channel, and seeing him come back in such a crazy power level to match the gods was just awesome. Super, I loved. I love Super. I watch every single week. But it's probably my least ranked favorite Dragon Ball moment, only because I want to get to the new stuff. If I had not seen Resurrection F and Battle of Gods, I would love Super so much more. But the fact that a lot of people probably agree with me, because we've already seen that stuff, it's just kind of like, okay, well, this is cool, this is extra, but where's the new stuff? So Resurrection
that is true.
F,
I mean, I guess, if we haven't seen the tournament yet, so
yeah,
that's definitely going to be way more exciting than.
Speaking of Dragon Ball
obviously
Super,
the series is good. It's just we have seen it.
Yeah.
So it's,
people have hated, like, people are hating on the animation though. However, now, like, what are your thoughts on that? Because people
I
complain daily
hate
about
talking about this topic, but to kind of address it, here's what happened. It's like, I watched episode 26, which received, or 25, excuse me, which received a lot of flack. Like, before you watch it, everyone was like, oh my gosh, it's the worst animated episode yet. I watched it. It was great for 90% of the episode. There was literally like maybe a good 30-second spot total in the episode that was bad. And to me, just because there's one badly drawn shot does not ruin the series for me. And the other thing to think about is, I said this like twice this week already, but when we're watching Dragon Ball Super on Fuji TV on a weekly basis, we're bootlegging it. We're pirating it. What gets released here in the world, or international release, or I guess the US and stuff like that, is the Blu-ray DVD release, which is done after the original TV broadcast. So what happens is they rush it to get it on TV, then they make it better, and then they put it on DVD, and then gets licensed. And then what we watch here is supposed to be the proper, good animation stuff that we normally wouldn't see had it been for the internet. And the fact that we're watching, it's like basically going to a bootlegger and buying a bootleg movie and then complaining that the quality is bad because it was recorded on the camera.
I
So
mean,
all I can really say about,
and they have changed it in the DVD itself too. I mean, they have changed certain things.
Episode 5 looks freaking great. You might disagree with me. There's gonna be someone that agrees, someone that disagrees. But you know what? I watched episode 5. I even watched a side-by-side comparison. I like it. It's great. It looks awesome to me. And if you're complaining about pirating, I guess, Dragon Ball, then think about what you're doing before you're attacking all these animators that literally make $20 a day.
Not only that, but people tend to forget that, yeah, they are recapping the movies, but you have to also take into account how many people out there were actually knowledgeable of the Battle of Gods and Resurrection F movie. Like, people out there didn't even know that even existed. So for those who didn't know the movies are out, but they know about the show, once they watch the show, they have a better understanding since they didn't see the movie. So I mean, if you go out there and you ask someone, hey, have you seen Battle of Gods? They look at you like, Battle of who? Like, Resurrection what? And
exactly.
Like,
That's why they redid it. That's why. And
I think it's really cool too to actually have the series kind of run alongside with the movies, because the movies are really, really great, and it's kind of the first time we've actually had Dragon Ball Z movies that actually fit with the storyline, and they don't present like a
plot holes and
like
stuff.
like a major plot hole, or like you kind of have to explain it away. Like, well, that's a different Dragon Ball Z universe. Like the past Dragon Ball Z movies are also really cool, but none of them like really actually fit with the timeline. So it's cool to see the Dragon Ball Z movies, and like when they actually take place with the same characters that are in the series, and everything kind of pieces together. So it kind of takes away that whole like, well, that can't happen. How could that happen if they were supposed to be here at that time and they're supposed to be fighting so and they weren't that powerful yet? So I think it's really cool that the movies are running alongside with the series.
Yeah. I was gonna say something else that I completely zoned out and forgot, but like I said, I like Super. It's awesome to me. It's fun. The fact that I can say we're watching Dragon Ball in a new format, new anime format today in 2015 is awesome. It's something I never imagined myself saying as a kid, because once the show was done,
guys,
it was done.
a couple of years ago, the DBZ community wasn't so good.
Yeah. I mean, it was great, but like at the same time, also, oh yeah, I remember what I was gonna say. The thing that always gets me about the animation argument is people always say the show in the 90s was so much better. Yeah, I mean it was, but there's also like 276 episodes you can compare as opposed to 25 current episodes. And what people always forget is out of those 276 episodes, there's a good chunk that are poorly animated as well that people just kind of forget about.
Speaking of, what were your favorite moments like throughout the entirety of Dragon Ball Super for both Danny and Rhymestyle? Like what was like the one episode where you enjoyed the most out of the entirety so far?
The Beerus fight. Literally the whole time that fight was going on over the span of like those 2-3 episodes, I was squealing like a little girl. It was so awesome. Beerus is my favorite character, and that fight is in my top 5 favorite Dragon Ball Z fights because it was absolutely intense, and that fight did it so much better than it was in the movie. Like it felt like an actual battle of gods.
The Japanese did it right. What about you, Danny?
I mean, obviously that moment is probably the most like epic / iconic moment. You know, well, it's more of a moment. Like a timeline from the series so far, but if I had to pick like another like lighthearted moment, it would be like one of the scenes of Vegeta just like being normal Vegeta, I guess. I don't know, like Vegeta has always been like one of my favorite characters, if not my favorite character, and so like seeing the shots of him just being like a normal dude but like struggling with it because he's like this Saiyan warrior prince, and now he's just like a dad who has to like hang out and try to make his kid happy. So I don't know. I like seeing those small moments like that too. I like the lighthearted
of the character. I mean, I would have to agree with you guys. Yeah. Mine was definitely Beerus and Goku as well. But if we're talking lighthearted moments, I would have to say when Goku first arrived on planet Beerus and he wanted to pee and like he wanted to take a piss right there in front of Vegeta. Vegeta's like, what the hell are you doing? Like get your ass out there. So like they were literally maids. And they were trying to like cater to Beerus while he was sleeping, and he was still kicking their ass while sleeping. That was such a funny thing because Goku had a like instant transmission, like the giant time bomb thing away from like blowing up and stuff, waking up Beerus. It was just so funny. Yep.
Dude, what they did with Super was great. Now that I think about it, Super is a lot better than people are trying to knock it. I guess it's great. It's lighthearted. It's funny. It's entertaining.
It's moments like that like tie it together with the entirety of Dragon Ball. Like the Dragon Ball series was such like I mean there were like epic fights and things like that, and the story was really good, but it was like very much like a lighthearted, fun adventure series. Yep. And I feel like now a lot of people are so caught up in like, we need another transformation and we need another fight, and I don't know. I just really appreciate the shots where it's like
Dragon Ball was never based all about fights. What about the original Dragon Ball show when we had Master Roshi, Jackie Chun, Krillin, Yamcha? Like that was never all based on fights. It was story development.
Yeah, it's all about the journey.
Like that's the thing. It's supposed to be like the adventure of the show and like the character development and the things that they go through, and so it's really cool to see them kind of like throw it back to that, and it's not all like, oh, we beat an enemy, where's the next enemy? Oh, we beat that enemy, where's the next enemy? And it's it's cool to see them throw back to that.
I like how we got together to talk about 2015, and we've just been literally geeking out over Super in the last 10 minutes. I mean, actually, that tells you something. It tells you that Super is, I mean, to us, it's great, obviously. But it's just, as a Dragon Ball fan, 2015 was great. It was awesome. I mean, there's so much things to enjoy, and I can't wait to see what 2016 gives us. But we want to hear from you guys, so let us know your thoughts in the comment section below of basically what you enjoyed this year the most from the Dragon Ball community, from the new show, from the movies, from the games. Here's your chance to basically geek out with us like we just did. So drop a comment below. And gentlemen, is there anything else?
Well, I just got one thing to say. Gohan, why you always lying?
Well, that's what I was going to say something I completely forgot. One thing I want to toss out before I end this video about Gohan is a lot of people I saw were saying that they hate what Super did to Gohan. You got to remember, Gohan was not ruined by Dragon Ball Super. Gohan was never ruined, period. The thing about Gohan is we've always been in disbelief after seeing Gohan in the Cell games because we expected Gohan to be this big badass, but at the end of the day, this kid was never a fighter. Even in the Cell games fight against Cell, he was never an actual fighter. The whole time he was fighting against Cell, he was like, I don't want to fight, then he exploded. It was always his rage that we liked, but as far as Gohan's character, he was always this nerd that wanted to be peaceful, that wanted to grow up and basically be a researcher or whatever the hell he's doing right now. He wasn't a fighter. So Super did not ruin Gohan. It's just that if you think that, it's your personal belief that ruined Gohan because you want him to be something else and he became something else. essentially like the reason why we hate Chi-Chi, that's what happened to Gohan. So I just want to kind of toss it out there before we end this video. But I don't know. It's an exciting year. I came out for 2016, so let's see what happens in the next 12 months. But for now, let us know what you enjoyed the most in the last 12 in the comment section below. And of course,
did you guys hear that there's a Broly movie coming out in 2016?
Shut up. Check out both Jadentastic and Unreality Gaming in the description below. Let's get Danny to 30,000 subscribers by the end of this year. Yeah, we have 2 more days, Danny. We have 2 more days. And I guess we'll see you guys next year.
Bye.
Happy New Year's.